I decided to take advantage of a full week of thunderstorms. And what pairs better with thunderstorms than reading mystery thrillers for a week? Hi guys, what's up and welcome back to another video. I have been really into thrillers recently because I let booktubers pick what I read for a week, and Sarah Caroli recommended Rock, Paper, Scissors for me by Alice Feeney. That was my first thriller book ever and it got me hooked. I have decided I am going to be reading thrillers for an entire week. I'm really excited because there are so many recommendations you guys have given me that I'm excited to read. There are a lot that you guys have given me that I actually looked at getting. I didn't read yours that you recommended. It's probably because I couldn't get it fast enough on Libby. Okay, the first one we're going to be reading is The Housemaid by Frida McFadden. This is a psychological thriller. I am so nervous. I love plot twists though, and so I think that's why I really enjoy thrillers because there are a lot of plot twists. So I'm hoping this is one that I love. Okay, let's go ahead and start. It is such a gloomy day outside. It's honestly the perfect day to be reading a thriller. Hello guys. Wait, let me go get my Kindle. The book is really good so far. It's kind of just like the beginning. It's only 21 pages, so I'm still learning a lot. But the main character is like, she's kind of creeping me out. Let's go lay in bed and read. I'm just kidding. So weird. What on earth? I'm really liking it, and it's not like spooking me out. I just think it's really odd. It's chilly. I am going to get ready for bed. Good morning, everyone. So yesterday I didn't read as much as I wanted to, but I made it to page 87. It felt like as I was reading it, the pages were just flying by. There's so much going on right now. It's not mundane, although you're kind of seeing her day to day. Because of all of the weird stuff that's happening, I am hoping that it kind of picks up a little bit more. A lot of people have talked about how much they love this book and how it's their favorite thriller, and so I'm really excited. I'm hoping that it's really gonna pick up and get creepier. I know, that's coming from me. Also, what's interesting is that the main character, I feel like she's gonna be a very complex character. Just already knowing she has a complicated past, but you don't know why. I don't know, I have my reservations about her as well as some other characters. I really can't trust anyone at this point. Even the husband, like the husband's supposed to be made out as one of the more likable characters, I guess, but I also do not trust him. I just don't. So we are going to have dinner with some of our friends later, so I need to read quite a bit, and then I have some more work to do. So we gotta get a lot of reading done, okay. So I have now made it to page 128. Some of the stuff that's happening right now is so dumb. As the reader, I'm like, dude, why are you doing this? Basically what's happening now, I know things are not gonna go well. I know something's going to explode and the main character's face. Her name is Millie. I'm just basically waiting for it to happen. I'm trying to really pay attention to details and see if I can catch what's gonna happen at the end of the book, because in the prologue, I was reflecting back on it and trying to remember if there are any details I missed there that I can try and piece together as I'm reading the rest of the book. I'm enjoying it so far. Nothing too crazy is happening. It has been another hour and we're officially 50% of the way through. This is on another level of crazy. Wait, this is so amazing. Everything is just adding up. It's really adding up right now. I'm so impressed. This writing, oh my gosh, it's just, wow. This is so crazy. What? I just finished The Housemaid. I'm speechless. This book actually surprised me so much. The plot twists, I feel like it ends on a good enough note to where I don't need to hop into the second one. Wow, you guys were so right. It was really, really good. Oh my gosh, it's so hard. I don't know what I would rate it right now. I might need to think about it for a little bit and then give you guys my rating. I feel like it would be really close to a 5-star. Like maybe 4.5, because I freaking loved this book. It was so good. The next book we're going to be reading is, you guys are gonna be shocked. I never thought I would read this book, let alone this author. Misery by Stephen King. Oh my god. Your parents are gonna be so proud of me. On page 65. Basically what's happening right now, the main character Paul, he is an author and he's basically been kidnapped by a crazed fan. So he gets into a car accident and it's a really bad car accident. Anyway, she thinks that she's like rescued him, and so she's trying to take care of him, but he's been seriously hurt from this car accident. He's literally been trapped in her house for like a month. And so she is really upset with how one of his latest novels ended. So she's basically forcing him to bring this one character back into the books because he's like killed this character off. And she's really upset about it. It's really good. I will say his writing is so unique from what I've read. And just like that, we have finished Misery. This is my first Stephen King book. Okay, so there were a few scenes in here that were a little bit gory, but it wasn't too much for me. And I am a very squeamish person, so it just made me, I was standing up when I was reading it and I was like, I had to sit down. I'm like, I can't. This was so good. I have so many thoughts, especially after reading The Housemaid. I could see where maybe she would get some inspiration from Misery. This was just... This was so suspenseful. I truly could not predict what the antagonist was going to do, what her next move was. She was just so like flighty and her emotions were just drastic and you never knew how she was going to react, and it really felt like you were the main character Paul stuck in this awful situation of being literally kidnapped. What's so bad about it is obviously like there's the physical aspect of what he went through, but also the mental. Oh my gosh, poor guy. I can't imagine. Even in the prologue, you're seeing how he's, well, never mind. I can't say that, never mind. That's a big spoiler. Basically, this is about Paul Sheldon, who is an author, and he has written 2 really popular romances called Misery, and it's about this woman named Misery. In the second novel, he kills off Misery. He ends up getting in this horrible car accident. This woman named Annie, she kidnaps him, tortures him, gaslights him, does horrible things to him mentally and physically. She is forcing him to write Misery's Return because she doesn't want him to kill her off. So she's like, you have to bring her back to life. But she also is kind of dictating how a little bit at the beginning, but then she gives him more room to write. She's like, you're not leaving until you write this. I think the sickest part about it all is she was a nurse. She thinks that she can just take care of him and all of his medical needs because of the car accident. And it's so bad. I think I would give it like 4 stars. I really loved it. It was so good. It was really enjoyable to read, and it was a quick read. I see why he has so much praise. He is a talented writer for sure. But there's something about his prose that I don't quite love. He's very descriptive sometimes. Like he chooses when he's extra descriptive. So sometimes when he would spend like 2 pages describing the living room, that was getting a little bit annoying. Dial A for Aunties, or the last thing he told me. I'm gonna ask you guys over on Instagram, so make sure you're following me on Instagram. Time for it to go up. Okay, now we're just going to let it sit for a little bit and see what you guys vote. But right off the bat, Dial A for Aunties is already winning. So let it sit for like maybe, I'm impatient, so I'll let it sit for like maybe 30 minutes. Okay, so I decided to do longer than half an hour because I did my Bible study and I had breakfast. Dial A for Aunties is at 65%, and the last thing he told me is at 35%. So I think I'm gonna go for Dial A for Aunties. What happens when you mix 1 accidental murder with 2,000 wedding guests and then toss in a possible curse on 3 generations of an immigrant Chinese Indonesian family? You get 4 meddling Asian aunties coming to the rescue. I'm really excited to see the family dynamic. I think I'm most excited about that because I'm sure it's gonna be so humorous, so comedic. And then I'm also excited to see like the murder mystery aspect of it all. I know this is like reading thrillers for a week, but I figured I'd toss this one in here. I'm going to go ahead and get started on this. I'm really excited and I hope that I like it. Next day, I am on page 264, chapter 31, and what? The plot just keeps thickening. Like, everything that could go wrong is going wrong. I kind of got to a lull in the book where I wasn't obsessed with it. Like, I was kind of getting to the point where I was ready for it to be over, which doesn't happen often for me, but it does happen sometimes, and I attribute that to reading 3 or 4 books in a week. Sometimes it is because of the book, and I don't think that's the case for Dial A for Aunties though. I don't know, I feel like it might be 50-50. It kind of was getting a little bit boring for me there for a little bit, which is funny because it is constantly moving along. I have finished finished Dial A for Aunties. This one took me a couple days to read. It took me like the longest to read, I believe. I have some fun little thoughts on Dial A for Aunties. I enjoyed it. I thought it was really funny. Loved learning about the Chinese Indonesian culture. That was really interesting. My favorite part was obviously the 4 aunties. Their banter is superior. I just love their little bickering that they have with each other. It's kind of split up to where there's like a rivalry between 2 of the aunties, and then there's a rivalry between the other 2, and so it's just really funny. The main character, her name's Madeline, and it's funny because all of her aunts, they all meddle in everyone's business. Kind of see this journey as she's dealing with this accidental murder that she commits. While she is figuring all of this out, her aunties, they really get super involved. Kind of see the lengths that this family will go to help each other, which is a blessing and a curse because it's also an expectation. Maddie feels like she can't really be independent and like her own person. There's also romance in this. I actually thought this was a romance book for the longest time. I am just honestly confused on the genre of this book. It's like mystery and romance and comedy. I will say I had some pretty high expectations for this book because I've heard amazing things about it. I did run into an issue about pretty much the whole midsection of the book. I got bored with it. Also, the plot twists, they weren't anything crazy to me. I love something that's gonna like take my breath away and have me speechless. With this one, it was really funny, which I think is at the forefront of this book. I think I'm gonna go like 3.5 stars on this one. I would recommend it to people, absolutely. It's a fun read. It was very comical, but it's not one of my favorite reads for sure. Okay, you guys, these are all the books that I read this week for my week of reading thrillers. This was so much fun. Let me know if you guys want to see a part 2 to this video because I didn't even get halfway through my stack of thrillers that I wanted to read this week. And I think the second half is actually gonna be a better stack. We're like just dipping our toes into thrillers, so let me know if you want to see any of your recommendations in the part 2 of the video and what those are, but I have some good ones in mind. All right, I love you guys so much, and I will see you in my next video. Bye guys!